to Road to Wembley with SunTrust Bank. Let me remind you again that we are taking entries for our SunTrust Bank Fan of the Week. So go to WhatsApp and let us know if you'd like to be our SunTrust Bank Fan of the Week, and also contribute on any other thing you've heard on the show on WhatsApp. Of course, today is the big semi-final between Italy and Spain. I'm sure you guys would have a lot to talk about regarding that match. So let's start previewing the match. Anthony Ambode, big match. Two teams that know each other very, very well. They've met each other a lot of times during the Euro, so there will be no secrets when Italy and Spain go head-to-head later tonight. What sort of match are we expecting when these two European heavyweights collide at Wembley tonight?
I think a fairly open match, actually. The Spaniards have shown themselves to be a team that can be reckless. They're not concerned about being defensive. They open themselves up, try to go on the front foot and try to attack. And the Italians themselves have shown as well, at least in the early stages of the competition, they showed that they also like to go on the front foot and attack and all of that. But I think towards the when it got to the knockout stage, they found a way to be a bit, to revert back to the old Italian style. So I think that ability is still there, the ability to go on the front foot. They have the players to do that, particularly on the break, with the pace of Insigne, with the pace of Chiesa as well in attack. So I think we expect maybe a fairly open match, both teams trading attack for attack and all of that. That's what I think we would expect to do.
Yeah, I like to know Bode's perspective on the match. Spain, obviously, we know them to be a possession-based team. Will they obviously they will stick to that policy, but will we see a situation where Spain will dominate the possession against the Italians, or will it be a case of both teams dragging who wins the possession battle later tonight in England?
The truth is, under Mancini, the Italians have actually ensured that every game
exactly
they dominated possession, and I'm very sure today they might slightly allow Spain dominate in possession, because we know that in the final third of the pitch, the Spanish side seemed to struggle. Yes, they scored back-to-back 5 goals in back-to-back games, but you look at the position, not the same level as the Italians. So I'm very sure Mancini just tell these guys, we have the pace going forward. We can hurt these guys with every bit of attack we have. So let's not over-stress ourselves. The Spanish guys will pass around. Once we have our moments, we capitalize on that, and we take our opportunity. Like Anthony said, Chiesa will be very, very influential today, because it will be the go-to man basically. Yes, Insigne has had a very good tournament as well, but we saw Federico Chiesa in the last game. He was pivotal in how Italy played. So I'm looking forward to a very open match as well, but it's going to be a case of, like I always say, little margins in games like this. When you have the opportunity, take it, and I'll be tilting towards the Italians as well.
The Italians began with so much flamboyance at the start of the tournament. They beat Turkey by 3-0. They beat Wales, I believe, Switzerland, I beg your pardon, by 3-0. But as the tournament progressed, as the opposition, the level of opposition became more difficult, and as the stakes became higher, we saw them revert sort of to a more reserved and conservative style of play. And you have to think that they would go along the same lines today, because like Bode said, Spain have shown themselves to be a very possession-based team without necessarily having the cutting edge up front, and they also have shown through this tournament that they really cannot defend. So they will probably look at it and tell themselves that, you know what, let's let them have the ball. Of course, we know we can spring on the counter with the likes of Insigne and Federico Chiesa. So you fancy the Italians to adopt a conservative approach today and maybe try to hit the Spaniards on the break?
Well, the thing is, the conservative approach of the Italians, like I always say, it's not the Mourinho conservative approach. They still go on a lot of attacks. They still try to take the game to the opposition. They still break with pace as well. So it's not 100% conservative. I think they'll still try to get at that Spanish defense, because at the end of the day, a defense as weak as the Spaniards, you have to have a go at that. You can't just sit back and be hoping on a lucky break.
Especially if you have Dani Olmo and Gerard Moreno and Alvaro Morata, who you know, except you make a big mistake, they will not help you.
Exactly, they'll miss too many chances. So you have to have a go at the Spaniards. So I think while they will concede a majority of the possession to the Spaniards, I think generally they will have a go at the Spanish defense. I think they'll get a lot of luck.
Let's look at it from the team sheet perspective now. Obviously, the one big absentee from the Italian team is Leonardo Spinazzola. Unfortunately, he picked up an injury in the previous match. How big a miss will he be? And do they have an adequate enough replacement in Emerson Palmieri tonight?
For Spinazzola, yes, he will be a huge miss, because he's been very, very influential playing as a wing back. And when you look at the Italian team as a whole, he's also been an outlet. And for a man of his age, a wing back with stupendous skill.
Yeah.
I'm very sure that will be a huge miss tonight. But for his replacement, I'm very sure Mancini would have looked at a scenario like this.
Yeah.
Okay, in case of any injuries, there will be a replacement. Yes, the skill set and everything might be missed tonight, but I do feel they will adequately adjust to their strength and ensure that they hit Spain on the weaknesses on the side. Now, and like Anthony said, and like we've noticed on the Spanish side, that their defense is a major problem.
Yeah.
The Italians are not conceding much, but we know Spain can actually concede a whole lot of goals. So I'm very sure Mancini would adjust tonight and ensure that they just control the game basically.
Yeah, it's funny the way the Italians play, because if you look at how high they are fullbacks, because they are not actually wing backs, they are fullbacks. How high they play, you kind of get confused and think they are playing with three at the back, but they actually play with Chiellini and Bonucci alone. And then Spinazzola goes all the way up. At the other side too, we have Lorenzo going all the way high. It's been a very interesting blend. I guess one of the midfielders, obviously, drops in anytime they push forward to complement the efforts of Chiellini and Bonucci. But let's look at the game in itself. Where would this one be won and lost?
I think in the midfield. I think that's where normally I'd say in the wide areas.
Yeah.
Because, but again, as much as I think Palmieri can do a decent job, I don't think he has. He can bring what Spinazzola brings to the Spanish team. Actually, a lot of skill, his pace in that on that left side, and all of that. He won't bring all of that. So I think it will be down to the midfield, because that's where the creativity is for the Spaniards. Their best player has been Pedri, but I think he's run himself ragged in this competition. Plus all the games he played for Barcelona last season as well. So he's like, I'm sure he'll be tired.
Maybe he's too young, especially
18.
For such a responsibility to go up against the likes of Marco Verratti, Nicolo Barella.
He's a quality player.
Yeah, of course.
Let's make no mistake. He's a quality player. He's a brave player as well. He does the job and he does it really well. So I think it will be in that midfield if, like you said, the likes of Jorginho can do a job on Pedri. They have the pass masters in their team. Barella and of course Verratti as well. They're very creative in that Italian midfield, and again the outlets have to be willing runners, because the Spaniards will push high up on the pitch, but with spaces in behind their backline for the willing runners to run into. So the passes have to be top notch, and then those guys have to be willing outlets for Chiesa and Insigne have to be willing outlets for the Italians, and I think that's where everything we want.
But Anthony has spoken about the midfield and him thinking that's where the match will be won. But I think it's actually simpler than that for me. I'm looking at attack against defense. The Spanish attack, which is not the best. Gerard Moreno or Alvaro Morata, Dani Olmo, Ferran Torres are not exactly David Villa and prime Fernando Torres against that strong Italian backline of Giorgio Chiellini and Leonardo Bonucci. And I'm thinking, come on, Bonucci and Chiellini should have enough to deal with whatever the Spaniards have to throw. And I look at the other end of the pitch and I see Pau Torres and Aymeric Laporte, who have been making mistake after mistake in this tournament. And I'm looking at the Italian attack, Lorenzo Insigne, who's been brilliant all tournament. The other guy, Federico Chiesa, has come into the starting lineup and has been really good. Has kept more or less or pushed Domenico Berardi to the bench. You do feel that Italy have enough in their attack to hurt the Spanish defense. While you look at it on the other side, the Spaniards don't have enough to break down Bonucci and
as much as we also talk about the attack of the Italian side, we also have to look at the midfield. And there's one player we haven't really talked much about on this show. It has to be Jorginho, because he's been the engine room basically. Things have been going through him, and unfortunately he hasn't been talked a lot about, because maybe his skill set is not really flamboyant and all that. And Jorginho once again will be key tonight, because everything goes through him. And if he can have a very, very good game, then the Spanish side are in trouble. And like you did say, it's a case of attack versus defense basically. For the Italians, strong defense, and they can complement that with a very good attack. But for the Spain side, can they defend properly? Nope. And score the goals on the other end?
It's a weak attack and a weak defense.
So it's all everything. Everything is pointing at an Italian victory today. Are we all in unison in thinking Italy will be too weak for Spain?
I only want to think the Spain attack is all weak. I think they've missed too many chances in this competition. If they can convert as much as they create, yes, they can trouble the Italians, but can they crack that Italy defense is a question waiting to be answered.
All right, we'll see. Let's try to answer the question before the actual match, guys. So what's going to be the scoreline between Italy and Spain later today? I mean, you guys are basically, from your analysis, you've presented it to the whole world that Italy would win the match, right?
It's the semi-final of the European Championship, so it's not going to be as straightforward as that. But I'd say Italy 2, Spain 1.
All right, Italy 2-1. Abodi Bruno, a scoreline for today's semi-final.
3-1 Italy.
3-1 to the Italians. All right, thank you very much, guys. We'll take a short break on Road to Wembley with Suntrust Bank. Let's see a couple of messages before we take that break. Hi, guys. Tosin Adewale from Uwe says, cause my friends call me Gary Neville Jr. and also a graduate of mass communication, I think I should be you guys Suntrust Bank fan of the week. Peace out. Thank you very much, Adewale. We will, of course, put your name into the draw and we will see whether indeed your name will emerge as one of the winners. I want to be the Suntrust Bank fan of the week and have the chance to be in the studio with you guys, please. That's Dio from the island. Okay, thank you very much, Dio. This one here from Durojai Kayode from Keto. He sent his Suntrust Bank account details. Of course, he was the winner from yesterday. You will get your money very, very soon. Good morning, guys. I believe Italy will definitely win. They are a more complete team compared to the Spaniards. I want to be the Suntrust Bank fan of the week. That's Oladapo in Laspotek in Ikorodu. Thank you very much. Good morning, guys. I want to be the Suntrust Bank fan of the week. That's Bayode Olalekon from Ikorodu. Sheyi says Italy 4, Spain 3. Okay, thank you very much. This game will be the most one-sided in these Euros. Italy 4-0. Locatelli to start tonight. That's Kende from Ikorodu. Everyone seems to have forgotten about Locatelli. He started these tournaments like a house on fire, but I mean, again shows the depth of the Italian squad. It's actually De Lorenzo that drops to make it a back three. Archie from Ijesha. Yeah, Berardi and Chiesa acting as wing back. Another one. Once again, I won't follow your prediction. I will tip Spain to qualify for the final. That's Tunde Ogumola. All right, thank you very much. Yomi from Mota says, good morning, IFM crew. Italy, Spain. Italy nil, Spain nil. Okay, thank you very, very much for all those wonderful messages. Another one here says, I want to be your Suntrust Bank fan of the week. That's Austin from Isolo. Yes, we have to go on that break now. When we come back, it will be time for our trivia of the day. Remember, one lucky person will have his Suntrust Bank account credited with 2,000 naira. Let me just ask the question before we go on the break so that you can start doing your research. Italy and Spain will meet in the semi-finals of the Euros. Of course, we've talked about that already later tonight. How many times have they met in the history of this competition, including tonight's match? So basically, you're telling us how many times Italy and Spain have met plus tonight's match. I hope that is simple enough.
Very clear.
All right, let's take a short break. Take a word from our proud sponsors, Suntrust Bank. When we come back, it will be time for us to open the phone lines and, of course, see if we can get a winner on today's edition of the show. We'll be back.
Did you enjoy this video? Hit the subscribe button for more. Leave a comment and like. Thank you.